and we'll see if he still has some of the rap career going. Tim Shelton with us here on the Corky's Hotline on the Mighty 1090. I hadn't heard Cut Down Nets in a while there, Tim. We just played it coming back as, hey, maybe tomorrow cutting down some nets at T&M.
I actually haven't heard it in a while either, so I should have tuned in a little earlier to listen to it real quick.
This is the weekend to play the song. I mean, this is it for it. Now, do you have any time to continue the music career? I know with recruiting and practices and games that you don't get a lot of free time as an assistant basketball
When's
coach.
the album drop, Tim?
Never. Never. If we can cut down nets, I'm good.
Excellent. Well, just before we went to our break, we played a soundbite from Brian Dutcher about what has changed defensively for the Aztecs the last few games during the 7-game winning streak. And he said the big difference is we're now taking charges. We don't have a shot blocker. We need to take charges. We saw it yesterday. Matt Mitchell, I think, had the first one, but guys stepping in the lane, stopping the ball driver, and you know who we always think of when we think of taking charges in the red and black, and that's Tim Shelton. So you got to be happy to be seeing that out on the court.
I'm definitely excited to see it on the court. I mean, you guys see what type of an impact that has on the game. It's something that I did, obviously, as a player back in the day. But, Coach Dutch has emphasized it. And he, when we first started going on our win streak, he said, the team that takes the first charge is going to really set the tone for this game. And it's a message that's been consistent throughout this entire run that we've been on. And guys have stepped up and done it and taken that challenge and started to take some pride in it. And it's made a huge impact on us, down the stretch and early in the games.
Is that something that's more of an attitude, a want to, or is it a technique thing? Because you have to be in the proper position. You have to move your feet. You have to know where to go, how far into the basket you can get, anticipating where the guy is going to go, what angle and what lane he's going to take. Is it more knowing and being technical in what you want to do, or just having that want to stick your body in front of somebody and take a tumble?
You actually explained it really well. It's a little bit of both. You have to be able to see what's going on, obviously, to be in the right spot early enough to take a charge and not be a blocking foul or not be a moving foul on you. So, obviously it takes a little bit of toughness and heart and a little bit more than just seeing it as well. You have to be able to step in there and know you're going to get contact and know you're going to get knocked down for the team. But obviously, from an impact standpoint, there's no bigger play, in my opinion, than taking a charge.
Tim, I know part of this 7-game winning streak is also about health and having your key players out on the court, specifically Trey Kell and Malik Pope at the same time. Are they playing their best basketball here at the end of their collegiate careers?
I believe so. It's one of those things that you can go into a game confident. When you have those two guys who have been through the battles and been in the NCAA tournament, playing at their best, saying the right things, playing as hard as they can, communicating at a very high level defensively, and leading our guys down the stretch right now. It's nice to see those guys healthy. Unfortunately, they weren't, in spots during the season, and it hurt us. We had enough talent to still compete and win those basketball games, but you're a lot more confident going into these games knowing you have those two guys ready and available.
Yeah, Malik Pope has taken a lot of grief from Aztecs fans because he hasn't really been the guy that we all thought he was going to be when he came in with all the hype and the 4 or 5-star recruiting and the big-time score. What have you seen behind the scenes? I mean, Coach Dutcher said even a little bit earlier that Malik is a guy who had to adjust being down on the blocks and helping out defensively, and he's doing that better now. What have you seen that we maybe haven't seen that's given him value for the Aztecs this year?
I mean, honestly, just growth. It's a part of the process. And I said this a little bit earlier on in the year that everybody's path is different. People talk about how Malik, hasn't lived up to whatever expectations were on paper a couple of years ago. But, in my eyes, he's lived up to them. And he's played very well. He's become a leader that we thought he could be and expected him to be. And, he's finally been healthy throughout this entire year. And with that and being a senior comes, a little bit more of a realization of what needs to happen in order to win, what type of preparation there needs to be during practice. And he's embodied that, and he's continued to constantly, be that person. And he usually plays his best basketball in March. So, when you see him get the ball, and you see his poise, and you see his moves, and you see how he's finishing and communicating and taking the challenge, that's Malik Pope in March.
Talking to San Diego State assistant basketball coach Tim Shelton with us in the Corky's Hotline on the Mighty 1090. In between the Mountain West quarterfinals and semifinals tonight, I know in a tournament setting like this, Tim, there's not really much time to do anything. You got to get preparation going right away for Nevada. But Any chance to appreciate beating Fresno State? I mean, a team that got you both times in the regular season, got you at Viejas last year too. That had to feel kind of sweet yesterday.
Yes, it did. I really wanted that win. Obviously, when a team beats you twice, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And they're playing a good brand of basketball. Coach Terry has those guys always playing hard. So, we knew it was going to be a dogfight at our place and at their place, and they got us both times. So, going into this last game, our guys already knew what we needed to do to win, and they understood that, it took an extended level of focus and not giving up possessions, and, they executed our game plan to a T and got the win. It was a hard-fought game, a lower-scoring game, but we expected that those guys really defend and play tough.
So now you get Nevada. You got them 6 days ago, obviously fresh in everyone's mind. Is that enough time to change a game plan, or do you just recycle what worked and go back after it again and hope that you can out-execute them the way you did at Viejas Arena?
You continue to watch film. You watch yesterday's game against UNLV, with open eyes, and you give it a little more time. You always try and find one or two more things you can do. They've added a couple wrinkles in their zone offense that they overload a little bit. So, we'll be looking for that if we go 2-3 a little bit. But, our game plan was solid. They accredited a lot of it to us being at home. So I think our guys take that personal, and I think, we'll come out with the same type of fire, if not more, than we did have at home. I mean, Nevada shouldn't be surprised if New Mexico fans are cheering for us in Thomas and Mack tonight. So if it sounds like we're at home, you know who New Mexico's rooting for tonight.
I was going to ask you, because Dutch said how important the fan support was for the game on Saturday when you beat Nevada. Yesterday, it sounded more like an Aztecs home game, and it's great that you're getting San Diego State fans to travel, but you are in the state of Nevada. So, I don't know, what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like tonight?
That was my next comment. I was going to say, but don't be surprised when you see the Aztecs fans show up and be loud. I thought we had a great turnout yesterday. And, I've gotten a lot of love through text message and online. People telling me that they're going to come today. So, the Aztec faithful and the Aztec fans have been wonderful, obviously, throughout the year at home. But, we travel, and we definitely travel to Vegas. Yesterday there was a good group of people. And if we just had that amount today, I think, we would feel the home love from the stands.
You get this win tonight against Nevada. Is this the litmus test? Is this because you beat Fresno State and you beat them on the road, and those were neutral side, but technically on the road. And those are two big bugaboos. Fresno State had your number, and going away from Viejas Arena has been very difficult. Is this the one where if you win this game against a nationally ranked team, one of the best teams in the nation, away from Viejas Arena, that all of a sudden everybody goes, okay, this is for real. This team now believes this is a team that can be extremely dangerous to anyone that they play from here and maybe into the NCAA tournament if you win that championship game. Is this the one?
Honestly, it's you want to just say yes, but there's nothing to prove outside of Viejas for our guys and for our staff. It's about winning this game, focusing on this game, and winning it, no matter where we play it. And we're in March, and it's about continuing to be able to play and playing for your seniors and playing for, school pride and playing for our team pride. We know that we can beat this team, and in our eyes, it doesn't matter what the location is, and there's nothing to prove in terms of winning a road game for us. It's just winning the game.
Tim, obviously Lindsey Drew was a handful the first time you guys played. He's out with an injury. Jordan Caroline was a gigantic handful in both games. Anything you guys can do to slow that guy down a little bit? I mean, he looks like an NFL linebacker out there playing basketball.
I mean, Drew, first of all, I feel bad for that kid. He's a heck of a basketball player and leader. When we were at their place, obviously he almost had a triple-double. And, I've always appreciated guys who can play the game and really not say much or react much emotionally. And he's one of those guys that helped lead their team to a championship. I wish him a speedy recovery. With Jordan Caroline, man, I mean, you watch him on film and you watch him in person, and he has the ability to make big plays. He's fearless. He goes at guys, and he takes a challenge on both ends of the floor. With him, he's got to make jump shots, and that's something that he's done well the last week and a half, but he's got to continue to do in order for them to have success. So, and a part of our game plan, it was like, hey, if he's driving to the basket, don't foul him, get your hands up, make a finish over length. But as a jump shooter, he's got to shoot contested jump shots. He's got to be a little bit more off rhythm on his spot shot when we're stunning at him. Guys who are off of the ball and guarding other guys have to stun at him when he's shooting and throw him off rhythm a little bit. He's going to be pretty good in transition, so we have to get back and make sure he doesn't get easy runs to the basket. But in terms of him, he's got to be a jump shooter. We've got to turn him into that. And even when he gets aggressive, we've got to stay in front, not give him angles to get easy layups. He's got to finish over length because he's not the tallest guy. But really,
if Charles Barkley wasn't either. He was pretty good.
Right, exactly. He's a good basketball player. There's no taking that away from him. But there's something to be said for him having almost 30 points against us last time and us still winning.
Well, Tim, really appreciate it. I know not a lot of time right now. You're getting ready for a game, so we definitely thank you for joining us. And tomorrow, the plan is, of course, to cut down some nets, right?
Win, cut yes, down sir.
Nets.
There it is, Tim. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Need more of this, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Take care, man. All right, tonight, 6 o'clock, Aztecs versus Nevada in the semifinals of the Mountain West Tournament.